Hello and welcome to the BKS podcast, episode 14, with your host Peter Land, who should be seated right here. Hello. This is a bit different. This one, this is just the introduction, and then it's going to flip into the actual discussion that I had with some guys. So I'm doing a banish lockdown lethargy program at the moment, and it's basically 10-minute sessions, round about 10-minute sessions. I'm doing it in the Bath Kettlebell Secret Society group, which is on Facebook. I'll put a link below this to get into that. The workouts are already in there. The live workouts, I've been doing them at 8:05 every morning, and it's an introduction into how to train for longevity for guys in their 40s, basically, who are out of shape and just want to get back in shape, or are in shape and want to get more in shape for the future. So I've been doing those sessions within that group, and it happened today, actually. Today is Friday the 8th of May. This discussion happened this morning. A few guys asked questions, so I did a kind of 10-minute chat with those guys to answer their questions and get them that bit further along. Okay, so if you're a guy in your 40s who's struggling to get in shape or wants to get in more shape than you are right now, this podcast is exactly what you're looking for. So, here it is. So, in answer to your question, Rob. So Rob said, which is better? What's the difference between doing 10 swings on the minute every minute or doing 5 swings every 30 seconds? Not a lot really. It's still, the work rest period is still roughly the same. It's probably 2 to 1. So you might take 10 seconds to do 5 swings and then get 20 seconds rest. Or 20 seconds to do 10 swings and get 40 seconds rest. It's roughly the same, okay? The difference is to do 10 swings. So the idea for this is you want to keep the power. So the power from your hips and the power of the swing wants to be the same. Maximum power for every single swing. If you're doing sets of 10 every minute on the minute, what can happen is you can do like 6 or 7 like strong, powerful swings, especially later on through the workout, and then towards the end you'll be getting to, the last 3 swings or something might be a bit, not lazy swings, you know what I mean, but you might not get as much power. But if you do it in sets of 5, at least you get that rest in between, so then you can keep the power through. So it depends. So for instance, these might sound like big weights to you, but these are the weights I use. But if I'm using a 40 kilo bell, I don't do 10 swings on the minute every minute, because 10 swings with a 40 kilo bell takes a lot of power. So I do 5 every 30 seconds instead. Okay, and that's just an easier way to do it, because the whole point is, and this is what I'm trying to get across in these sessions, is that it's not about getting sweaty, out of breath and really killing yourself. Okay, it's about still getting towards the end. So if I do a session like this, at the end of that session, I want to feel like I can carry on. I can do more. Okay? If that session takes 20 minutes and I think I can do more. Okay? The thing is, breathing through your nose, as soon as you start sucking breath and you get out of breath, it's finished. So as soon as you can't breathe through your nose anymore in rest periods, the session's finished. So that might be at 20 minutes. But then the next time you do it, you might get 22 minutes, which is 10% extra. It doesn't sound like much, but it's 10% extra. The next time you do it, you might get 30 minutes, right? And then when you get to 40 minutes, so imagine you finish when you're at 20 minutes. Exactly. Richard, honestly, I've been using this for a few years now, and you might have seen on, you can see, I can see my progress from my videos and stuff like that, and I can feel it, but I've been doing this with snatches with a 24, and it just makes it feel like nothing. It's brilliant. But anyway, so what we're trying to do is increase So most people want to increase their fitness, right? And when they say they want to increase their fitness, they want to increase how far they can go, basically, how long you can last for. Now, the way to do that isn't to go to your limit and then try and push that limit. It's to train within that limit, but make the within the limit. So if your limit is here and you're training to here, you just push that up. So your limit goes up anyway. So if you get to 20 minutes and the set's over, that's fine. You could probably do more, but you're going to be tiring yourself out. So if you want to come back tomorrow to do another session, you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to be tired. You want to be able to turn up every single day. Okay? So if it takes 20 minutes, you get to the end of that session, you could do more. But by the time you've done this over a few weeks, you might get to 40 minutes, and then you're like, well, I've got to 40 minutes, and I could do more after that as well. Whereas if you'd carried on that first session, you said, I've got 20 minutes, I could do more. You might get to 25 minutes and be spent. Whereas if you carry on, if you do it over a period of weeks, you can get to 40 minutes and still have some left. And then what do you do when you get to 40 minutes? Well, you just use a heavier bell. Or instead of doing 5 reps every 30 seconds, do 6. You know, instead of doing 10 reps every minute on the minute, do 12 or 13. Adding 1 or 2 more reps as well doesn't sound like very much, but over 40 minutes, if you're doing an extra 2 reps a minute, that's another 80 swings, right? It's a lot, especially it's depending on what bell you're using, but it's a lot, okay? Exactly, Rob, exactly. And this is why people get injured, right? This is why people get injured, because they just go like, right, I'm going to smash myself to pieces. And it takes patience. But the thing is, I know it works. Yes, exactly right. So, Richard, yeah, do it with snatches, like either 5 every 30 seconds or 5 on the minute every minute. When I'm going heavy, so when I use a 32, I'll do 5 every minute on the minute for 20 minutes. That's 100 snatches, right, with a 32, which is a lot for me. But if I use a 24, I'll do 5 every 30 seconds. And I'm doing that for 20 minutes at the minute. I'm aiming to get that up to 40 minutes. Okay? So that's like, I mean, it's like, and going back to what Rob said, it's the patience of doing that. And it's one of those things, you can't see what's going to happen a year in the future. So you're like, well, I want the results now. But if what can happen is you get to a year in the future, you're just knackered, you've probably injured yourself, you know, from trying to smash yourself to pieces, or you can rein yourself in for a month, and then over that month you make a lot of progress, and you're like, hang on, that feels a lot easier. And it's very hard to finish a training session saying, I've got loads left in me. But if you finish a training session and you're smashed to pieces, you've got the rest of your life to live as well, right? And it can. I mean, Richard will know about this. We've done lots of stuff on this, right? About burning yourself out and all of that. Not workout-wise, but work-wise and all of that. Yeah, Rob, change arms every round. Yeah. So, yeah. You see, what will happen with these questions as well is a lot of the questions are like, how can I make it more complicated? Right? And it's like, it's as simple as that. Just do 5 every 30 seconds. You know, if you're doing snatches, 5 on your right, put it down, 5 on your left, put it down, 5 on your right, put it down, 5 on your... It's as simple as that, right? Some people say this training's boring as well, and it's like, well, if you want to get better at something, you have to practice it, right? So, Stuart, I'll just answer Stuart's question because I'm taking up a lot of time now. So Stuart was asking what sort of warm-up would recommend for this. Now, if you go back through to day 2, and day 3 actually, when we did the mobility stuff. So on day 2 we did a lot of mobility stuff. So just that sort of thing. You know, what did we do? We did the head control. So getting your joints warmed up. Did the head control, and we're like looking over our shoulders like this, and then we did the rocking and a bit of rolling, and that just like up ready to move. Okay, so that sort of stuff. And actually, what happens with this? If you're not using a heavy bell, if you're using like a lightish bell that you can use for a long time, you get up, I find, with doing this anyway. You get a natural warm-up, because if you're doing 5 or 10 swings, that's kind of like, okay. And then over the period of the workout, you get it, you know, your heart rate builds slowly, and then it gets to a certain level, and then it levels out and stays there, and that's what we're after. Okay, and then obviously at some point, like I say, 20 minutes in or something, it'll start to spike and spike and spike. But that's when, before it even goes that way, that's where you stop. So your heart rate's at this level. Okay, but then what will happen is your heart rate will be at that level after 20 minutes. But after a while, your heart rate will be at that level after 40 minutes. Or even lower, because you've got fitter. Okay, so this is called anti-glycolytic training. So if you train yourself to your limit, you're going to produce a lot of acid in your body. You get a lot of free radicals, what they call hydrogen ions, free radicals, which basically have got I think they've got a negative charge. I can't remember, it's negative or positive, it doesn't matter, but they're going around looking for things to react with, right, in your body, which isn't ideal, and that's why you get tired, and that's why it can take 2 or 3 days to recover. If you train like I've just said, you don't get to that point, your body doesn't become acidic, you don't get these free radicals, you're not going into, you're not going glycolytic, it's called, you're anti-glycolytic, so you're not going into that state, so then your body recovers within a couple of hours. And then the next day when you do it, or a couple of days later, you're ready to go, you're ready to go. So you're always, it's training your body to be just ready to go. Okay, so if you want to go out on you're like, oh, I want to go on a bike ride, but like I'm tired or something like that, right? That'll happen less. You'll be like, oh, I just want to go on like Robert like this. You want to go on a bike ride? You just like, right, I'll go. And you'll be ready to go all the time. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to train your body so it's just ready to go all the time. That's why we write down how you feel beforehand and how you feel afterwards. And a lot of people with their workouts will write down, how do you feel before? I'm tired and worn out and all of that. How do you feel afterwards? Sweaty, knackered, all that. And it's like, well, hang on, you haven't changed your state. Again, Richard, you'll know about this because we've done a lot on this as well. Just changing your state, just making yourself feel better. So it's like, oh, I'm tired, I'm worn out. You do your workout and then it's like, right, now I feel energetic and I'm ready to face the day. That's what we're after. The last thing you want to do is burn yourself out in the morning, right? For the rest of the day. Okay, so hopefully what you can see now is this getting stronger, getting fitter, this workout stuff. There's a lot more to it. A lot more to it than just doing some exercise. A lot more to it. There's a lot behind it. And if you can get your head around not beasting yourself, Rob, if you can get your head around that and just actually training to actually get the thing you really do want without trying to push it, it will happen. Especially because I think you're similar age to me. You're slightly younger than me actually, but similar age, in your 40s. This is when you have to be careful because you could push it years ago. And I know you played rugby and all that, and that's kind of the mentality, isn't it? And when you're in your 20s, early 30s, that's fine. But once you get to a certain point, it doesn't work anymore. And it'll only get worse as we get older as well. So if you keep that in mind, as you get older, it's all about recovery. And I'm not talking about getting old as well, because we're not. But if you want to still feel younger, look younger, and be able to do the things you used to do years ago, you got to start thinking about more recovery. Okay? And when I'm talking about more recovery, I'm not talking about spending more days doing nothing. I'm talking about the things like we've just been doing. If you can breathe through your nose during rest periods, you're recovering as you're working out anyway. You're adding the recovery into your sessions. Okay? While still getting the gains. Gains, I hate that word because it sounds like macho bloody bodybuilding stuff, but you know what I mean. You're getting the fitness gains, not necessarily muscle building gains. But there you go. I'm going to shut up now. I've rambled on. But hopefully that answers all your questions. So, yeah, we're done. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that discussion and I hope it made sense. If it didn't, just hit me up, ask me. Get into the group, get into Bath Kettlebell Secret Society. There's a link to it here. So get yourself into the group. Have a look around. The workouts are there for you to look at. Ask questions. If you want to know a little bit more as well, just find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. You can buy my Amazon book for 99p, how to do the kettlebell swing, and there's a few different workouts in there. There's loads of stuff. There's stuff everywhere. Okay, and if you're here from Adventurous You,
then again, just hit me up, ask me questions, send me an email, whatever. It's all over their website about what I can do so to help you out. So yeah, just hit me up. If you like this, like it, share it, tell your friends. Let's keep the discussion going. Talk to you on the next one.